the Transformers.
I love the soundboard.
Hey everyone, how is it going? It's Ultra Pittus here, and hopefully you're all able to hear me, hopefully you're all able to see me, and hopefully you're all able to see Kallum at the bottom. It is a bit of a Frankenstein's monster of both Teams, OBS and everything else. We're just trying to make it work live today. I promise it will look more beautiful for the next time we do it. Not necessarily me and Kallum, because we both have the faces for radio. But certainly the tech hopefully will look better. Mate, it is an absolute delight to welcome you to this primetime show. We've called it Primetime. Very clever, because it's all about the Prime and we are on at a time. Normally this would be part of the Such Heroic Nonsense show, which I normally do on a Wednesday. But I've got a bit of a free day today. And you very kindly invited me to come and chat all things Alchemist and the new version 30, HQ19 upgrades, and loads of other stuff. I'm just going to faff about with my screen so that I can see the chat and engage with everybody now that we are pretty good from a tech point of view. But yeah, shall we just start by chatting about, you? And I just...
Me?
Yeah.
People don't want to know about me.
I think they might,
I'm not a Transformer.
I think they might, though. I mean, you are kind of like this ever-present, sort of feature of all of the chat that I see. You're in an alliance yourself. You play the game competitively yourself. I'm just fascinated. What was your entry point into Transformers? What does your normal day look like? Let's start with where did you come into the franchise?
So many different questions there. Realistically, I was a young lad when I first started watching, and my first one was the one with the young Megan Fox.
Okay, yeah, contentious.
And
Davis.
Yes, a bit of, and then I really realised later on that people didn't like that version. But when you're looking at the different sort of franchises and the different people that have created these things, they all go through the same core qualities, where it is just huge-ass robots that can change into different vehicles and cause ultimate destruction, right? And as a kid that loved that kind of thing, I followed it from then on. And it's just been something that just gnaws at you in the background, where you just I want to watch more. I want to see where things go. Yeah. And then you end up on the cartoons. I remember didn't really follow them until I was at TF Nation, which is the UK's version of a convention, if you will. Yeah,
I will be there this year. Me and my daughter are going in full cosplay.
Oh, fantastic. We were supposed to be there, but I've got life that unfortunately has to come first.
Indeed. And congratulations
we're
to you.
aiming to do more. Thank you. We are aiming to be there more and to do some talks there as well, so people can see more about us and what we're supposed to do, and hopefully bring more people in to the community itself. Is fantastic. So it's just working our way into things really, and making sure that people know that we may be 10 years old in a game sense. We're incredibly old, but we're still trying to thrive. So it's been an interesting entry point to both Transformers and the game itself.
I love that. I love a lot about this franchise. I mean, I have come back to it at touch points across my life, but for me, my entry point was as I think I was probably 4 in 1986. Sat on my grandmother's carpet watching a videotape of Transformers the movie '86. And just being completely immersed in that kind of anime music video, 80s stadium rock. And, one of the things I love is that all of us across the community here in Transformers Earth Wars and the wider Transformers community, we all have different entry points. So for you, it's Bayverse. And I know a lot of people kind of wrinkle their nose and pinch their eyes at the Bayverse. But, if that's your entry point, then that's kind of a safe place for you. It's like when I watch Transformers the movie, it's like putting a nice blanket around myself and just feeling really happy about everything. Even when Megatron sort of destroys all of my favourite Autobots in the first 20 minutes. But that probably says more about me than...
That's what makes him great.
than I know. You sound like CF. And
Allegedly, that's what makes him great. I'm not going to say which side I pull on, but...
And all the rest of you dead-eyed murdering Decepticons. Who chooses Decepticons? You weirdos. Anyway, that's very cool. And what... So you said something about community and everything else. The game's been around for 10 years. The franchise is 40 plus years old if you think about Diaclone from the 70s, more like 50. What do you think it is about this community, both in Transformers Earth Wars and more broadly Transformers in general, that keeps us all addicted and keeps us all sort of loving it?
I think the most sort of relevant thing for this was when I was at Transformers Nation, the most recent one, where there was way more children there this year than there was last year, and you could see that the dads that were there were really psyched to get their children into the same thing, and it's like, oh, you want this, we'll get you this, but it's not a full toy that you're playing with. Some of it was actually a model, and a lot of them were buying the Blokies models so they could build them together. So it's not just about the franchise itself, it's about the generational thing that you can bring and enjoy with your children, because there's not many things out there these days, apart from when you're playing catch in the garden or shipping them around to play football every Sunday. What else do you do with your children these days? I mean, as a child of 3 and the youngest, I got away with everything, and I didn't really spend much time with my parents, so it's like, would I go back and change that? Probably, but it's nothing I can do now. But seeing that fruition from these adults that have come in and have probably followed Transformers for the majority of their life, it's something that they're holding on to and that they want to experience with either their family, their friends, or anybody that's there. I mean, speaking to the people at these conventions is something I absolutely enjoy, because I learn so much more, because these people have probably watched it 3 times over, and they're probably going for a 4th run through. So it's just built a really nice community, and even if you've just entered, there's so much more you can learn, and that's what I like. I like to absorb.
I've been amazed by both the Transformers Earth Wars community and the other Transformers sort of fandom communities that I'm part of. But and I was saying to you last night when we were talking before the stream, from a social perspective, I honestly think that the model of Transformers Earth Wars and the communities that it's grown in Line and Discord and everywhere else, even here, in the chat, is like a model of world harmony. And whilst there is friction always and a bit of conflict here and there, as is normal when you get a group of humans together who are very opinionated about a particular thing, broadly, I know that I could go into Discord right now, and if my cat died a few weeks ago, and he was like my gamer cat. He was terrible at the game, but he was a good cat. And I thought for a few days, I was like, do I post a picture of him? Is this a bit thirsty? And I did, and I was like, and I was just really hurting. I was just genuinely missing him. And everybody was so nice. And then everybody started posting pictures of their pets. And it was like, oh my God, okay, I'm just going to cry. But also I know I could go in there and go, look, I'm having a bit of a problem, with this front-loaded base. And I know that there will be at least 4 or 5 people in the first few minutes who are straight there going, have you tried this combo? You might want to switch out Styler off this guy.
Heavy load right and just go balls to the wall with it.
Just charge of the light brigade. Tons of smoke straight up the middle. But and I love it for that. So it doesn't matter whether or not you are a dead-eyed murdering Decepticon. And I was just showing off my little Megatronus toy while you were talking, which broke as I was doing it, like all Decepticons do. Or a heroic Autobot. It does seem to bring us all together, and that is lovely, isn't it?
Technically, aren't the Decepticons the heroes?
I do like Megatron's view of politics, which is in whose interest do you serve, from where do you get your power, and how do we get rid of you? three very good questions for any politician, I think, of any flavour. So I agree with you, and you know, and you were talking about the different canons that exist in Transformers. I guess there are so many bits. So if you're following the current Skybound IDW comics, you know, it would be very difficult to argue that Megatron is anything other than, you know, a sort of slightly cannibalistic war criminal at the moment. But in other universes, you know, there's a switch. And, you know, in the Dreamwave comics, the bin men are just collecting the bins, if you can all hear calamity outside my house. You know, you've got Soundwave just breaking down when he realizes Ravage died. And you've got this lovely kind of human interplay between them all. I just love that. I love that. What it can kind of reduce us to and show it like a mirror to who we are. Anyway, we should probably talk about the game. I could sit and talk about Transformers in the round all day long. But obviously there's been some friction recently from a tech point of view. Just wondered if you could kind of talk us through what your last 72 hours has looked like, so that everybody knows what you're up to in the background as a team and as an individual.
Lack of sleep and a lot of coffee was definitely the source of energy for that. But no, I think it was Tuesday around 3:00. I was writing up some other things that are coming in the future, comms for that and the strategy for that. I got a couple of pings on Discord where somebody said that the game was down. Usually I ignore them because it tends to be a connection problem that resolves itself. And then I got an internal message saying, hey, can you check the game's okay? And at that point it was panic, but only slight, because usually it can just be a small blip in the system. So logged into the back end just to see what was going on, and then the server dev, he confirmed it really quick, saying something's not right. And at that point it's like, okay, we need people on. So it's who presses the red button. 90% of the time it's me, because I'm forward facing and I can see what's going on and I can see the player reaction. But this time it was the server dev was already aware of it, so he pushed the big shiny red button, and all of a sudden there's 5-6 of us converging into a war room, trying to figure out what went wrong. So obviously the server was incredibly impacted with what happened. It then trickled on and got a bit stuck with the web store as well, which is why it was down for a bit longer, because we needed to fix a few back-end things. It's a blessing in some way, because it made us realise that there was some vulnerabilities that we didn't really know were there. But it's also incredibly frustrating with us, because I have to be the one to say, look, the game's down. I don't know when it's going to be back. I'm in the chat. I can hear what's going on. I can see what's happening. But I don't want to give a definitive time. I don't want to say, the game's going to be back up in an hour. For when the inevitable reason of saying it's going to be up, but then it's not actually going to be up, because whatever the issue is has more underlying factors to that, which then has to be investigated. We then have to put a fix through. We then have to QA it, and then we have to learn that the playtest server's down as well. So it's like, okay, so we need to fix 2 different things here, but also then it's looking at the priorities, which obviously high-end time is always get the players back in to get them playing again. If we have to shut the web store down and then lose money, then we're not bothered. We want people playing. That is the ultimate goal. If they're not playing, they're not happy. So it was that. But sort of 6 hours into it, we're like, we need to start thinking about, real term effect that this is having. And the first thing people ask, and it always makes me laugh because it's the priorities, I guess, for some people, is what's the compensation going to be? And I always laugh at that, because not because you're not getting any, or it's not going to be on the table. It absolutely is going to be on the table at some point. But the priority for us is figure out what's gone on, fix what's gone on. We then need to QA it to make sure that if we do put the game back up, it doesn't happen again. Which in this instance we got it up about 1 a.m.
Yeah.
I then thought, okay, we're there, everything's fine. At about 1:20, it went back down again. So I had to get up out of bed and be there in case it was going to go on for any longer. Thankfully, we have a few people in YODO1 itself, because we are a huge company globally. Another server dev that was overseas was also involved in the situation, and they managed to say, okay, I see what the issue is that's going to cause this to happen again, and we've disabled it. Just so happened to be that it was linked to the web store, and disabling that entirely helped us to get the players back in, and that was the ultimate goal. So the priority really was find the issue, fix the issue, QA it to make sure it didn't happen again, be around it when we do push to live, just to make sure that it stays up. And unfortunately, it's me and the server devs that struggle sometimes. So lack of sleep is definitely dawning on me at this point. But
yeah, a few people in the chat have commented that you are looking tired. I promise everybody in the chat that I have sent him some very high strength coffee. And I did allow him to even drink it before going on the stream.
It is gone.
So my wife has just come back from the gym, and I would imagine that she's got a personal best from lifting today. No, not strong today. Basically, the two women in my life are both able to sort of hand my ass to me because they're infinitely harder than I am.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Are they Decepticon or Autobot?
My wife would almost certainly be a Decepticon, I think. Although she is not big into the franchise, as we talked about yesterday. She's more a Doctor Who fan. My daughter, on the other hand, and you were talking earlier about bringing our kids into the franchise and stuff like that. I showed Phoebe Transformers 86 quite early, and she was like, meh. And then we went to see Transformers 1, and that absolutely hooked her, and we must have gone to see that about 6 times at the cinema. So yeah, she would definitely be an Autobot though, Phoebe, for sure. Anyway, mate, it sounds, in my past life I've ran a few real ops rooms in real wars, and it sounds almost as intense as that when this game goes down.
Once the red button's pressed and the war room gets opened, there are so many different personalities that want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
For me, I want to know what's going on so I can be the one to tell people this is going to be down, how long it's going to be down, what are we going to do to sort of compensate at the time. The interesting thing about compensation, if you will, is that we will look at, is it an event time? If it is an event, what have we lost? If it's not an event, is it a raid week? If it is a raid week, what have they lost? Can we compensate it? If it's not a raid week, what were they doing at the time? But we can't. The way our reward system works, or gift system, is that we have to do it through achievements, because that's where everybody has access to it. We don't have a gift function where we can say, okay, this amount of people get whatever they were doing in the war, so they didn't lose it. We can't gift medals, and it's a real pain when it's coming to any sort of gifting. So it has to be through achievements, which is why when we do the compensation, like the one that's up for now, is that it will be in the achievements, and it's there until you collect it or until the time runs out. So it's not ideal, but it's the best way with the tech that we have that's available at this time. Do I want that to change? Absolutely. Is that going to happen in the near future? Absolutely not. Because we are using old tech, and I know that people are going to say, well, that's not really an excuse. You're pulling in all this money, and it's like, it's not as much as you think. Sure, people think, millions is millions, but then you've got to look at the servers, the people they pay, the global contract, the Hasbro license, and everything else. But realistically, it all falls into place, and I've lost my tangent now, but...
No, I see exactly what you're saying. And the sentiment in the chat is kind of oscillating around a kind of JFK, ask not what you can take from your country, but what you can do for your country. I butchered that quote. But you get the you get the feeling, you get the vibe of that. And then the other side of it is that kind of bloodthirsty, where is my Hessian bag full of cyber coins? I want it now. I'm one of the things I'm constantly impressed by, and I work in tech myself at the moment, and I am just very impressed by the level of sort of enthusiasm and application and focus that like the play testers who are not paid in any way, shape or form for what they do, but the intricate detail that they go into, and they are very much representative of all tiers of the community, from sort of entry level all the way up to the top, and how that integrates with your team is really impressive.
That was designed. So the playtest itself has been through a few reworks in my time. Initially, there was a lot of people that were high level, and that is good. That is inherently good for us because we see how different people play. And the people that play in the higher leagues, they do things that we don't usually think about, and that's fantastic when they do, because they come back with this feedback and say, I've done this, but realistically I should be able to do this. Whereas the people in the lower leagues, they use their bots completely different. Usually it comes down to strategy, where people are thinking about where they're going to be placing things, what combos they're going to use, what combats they're going to put on this, what level they're going to take it to, is the level good enough for it? And a lot of time playtest seems to think, and I'm probably going to get slaughtered for this, but they seem to think that all the new content needs to be better than it is whatever's currently out. I challenged that mindset. Well, I agree in some sense, because you want to be able to chase the things that we're bringing out, right? You don't want to look at what's coming out and say, that's not worth my money. It might not be, but not everybody has the same lineup as you.
Yeah, quite.
And everybody's playing at different levels, and we need to balance the game, because if we start bringing out things that are better than what's come out last, we then have to do more balanced patches to bring everything up.
Yeah.
Or then we have to bring whatever's come out down, which has happened before. And the sentiment around that was a hard week for me again. But we need to be realistic in how we do things, and we need to make sure that what we're doing is the correct way. And there's been a few changes, but playtest itself, I will always thank the team that both the designers that are there. There's 2 new designers that are doing it.
Yeah.
It's a fresh team at this point, that are pumping out the new content. So getting them into a place where they can, gain the trust of the playtesters, but it's not really a trust thing. It's sort of making sure that they're heard, because it can be difficult, especially when you're a designer, because you want to build something and put it into the game that everybody's either going to like or be able to use. But that's not inherently going to be both at the same time, and it has to be different.
Yeah, and I'll address a couple of things there. Some things that are coming from the chat. So, Shapeshifter 6354 is saying, doesn't spend a lot of money on games, but picks up some bundles, gets some awesome Decepticons. Your point about the fact that people's perspective is informed by the tiers that they're at in the game. So somebody who's fighting at the top of like Prime Alliance, or G1 Psyops, or insert top tier alliance here, their perspective of content is going to be wildly different to somebody like myself, for example. If you rewound me to like 18 months ago, where I first came into the game, and I was just like, okay, I want Rodimus Prime, I want Ultra Magnus, I want the characters that mattered to me as a kid. And I didn't care about the meta. I didn't care about tactics. I just cared about, getting these bots on the field and enjoying playing with them.
And now look at you.
And now look at me. Yeah, that's my daughter sort of bantering me. So there's everybody in between, and you've got the midpoint people who are kind of deciding whether or not they want to play competitively, or if it's just a pastime. Like I think I mentioned to you in the past, for me, the game was amazing for grounding me when I was going through some panic attacks. And from a mental health point of view, I used it to kind of complement some of the things that I was doing to kind of neutralize that mental health issue at the time. And it really did help. So I have a lot of affection towards the game for that. I'm not saying it saved me, but I am saying that it helped. And so there are a lot of reasons I think we'll play this game. And they shift in time. Sometimes it's nostalgia, sometimes it's competition, sometimes it's the adrenaline of, am I going to beat this MDS with 20 seconds to go, and hit the HQ enough with like my top level Grimlock, because he's the only one who's alive, as he kind of hits it with Jays, which is basically like hitting Edinburgh Castle with a spoon, hoping to take it down. So yeah, I think there's perspective is a huge thing, and not all content is going to be, you know, the next Rust Dust or the next Gears, or, you know, insert your OP Metabot here.
No, but I will give credit where it's due, both to the playtesters and the designers. There's been a lot of back and forth recently around Dust Up and Vortex and Mirage and Breakdown, and especially with Bruticus as well. That is a very relevant conversation right now. And we will always take the feedback that's coming on, even after it's been released. I do need to stress this, that once something is released, it is not done. Yeah. Unless, obviously, we feel that it is. I mean, we'll always take a look at things and say, look, this has gone out. Are people still saying this, and this? Or are they saying, or, you know, are they okay with what's going on? Yeah. The conversation doesn't stop once it's released. The same with primes. I mean, when they were first released, it wasn't what we expected, and it wasn't what players expected. We did have a huge pivot, and sort of I kind of want to do such up on that at some point during this. But the playtesters and the designers, they are in a good position where they will talk. Sometimes the playtesters come in a bit strong, can be intimidating at times, but it's a job like mine. I can go in and I can say, right, the playtesters, the underlying issue is this. They're putting it quite, not aggressively, but in a tone where it's hard to read whether it's offensive or not. But realistically, this is the issue. Is this something that we can address? 90% of the time, the developers will say, okay, or the designers will say that, you know, we can make these changes. Let's see what we can do to make it work. Yeah. And I love the concept of playtest from our side is fantastic, because we can ideate, we can bring content into the game, we can do funky animations, we can have fun with it. And then we can come up with the idea of, you know, what this bot is supposed to do. But then we put it into playtest and they say, have you even looked at this lore? Maybe you can do this. Or why are you using fire? Why didn't you use cryo? And it's like, well, cryo doesn't necessarily work. I mean, I do understand that there's not that many bots with it, and I do want to sort of bring that into the game more. But sometimes it's just not the right time. And I know that sounds like a real cop-out, but it's not. We have to make sure that if we're putting something in, it makes sense either to the lore, to the what we're trying, for the bot that, you know, we're creating makes sense to that bot. So yeah, the feedback is a good way to get things across, and we do listen once things have been released, which is why we do balance patches. Which another one is coming up, but I'm not going to throw that too much out. Because
oh man, that's a hand grenade. I do have to do a quick shout out for Damon Huber 6279. He's talking about Perceptor, so I'm going to throw this out there. He's loving bringing his Perceptor up to a high level. I salute that. Perceptor was one of my absolute favourites from the old days, and I think he's got a lot of utility as an outpost bot, especially if you pair him up with Air Razor. And lots of interesting tactics around Air Razor, but we could talk about that later. Mate, let's shall we shift on and talk about Alchemist?
Yeah.
Right, I am going to transition things along, and so you lucky people, hopefully you'll be able to see me and Kallum are now miniature on the left-hand side of the screen. And on the main screen is a rather cool Alchemist Prime datasheet that I put together for you. On it is all of the lore. Well, I say all of the lore. The kind of head marks, the big ticket items of Alchemist's history, why he is how he is. Some of you may not realise that you know, he is one of the 13 primes. He was created by Primus to basically kick the ass of Unicron. And then after doing said Unicron ass kicking, decided not to join the rest of the primes in like Prime Valhalla or wherever it is, Transformers Primes Go, but decided to remain on Cybertron and other places just as a normal Transformer. And it is part of the lore that he kind of became a bar owner called Macadam, which I'm sure Kallum will go into, and runs a kind of metaphysical, physics-bending, canon-breaking, multiverse sort of splitting bar that any Transformer can come into, but is not allowed to fight in. So it's often kind of a place for diplomacy and all the rest of it. However, Ultra Magnus does convince him to become one of his Autobot spies at one point. So I will post this in my Discord, and I'll also post it in the Earth Wars Lounge, so you can all take a look at it, take it home, study it, read it before bedtime, whatever you like. But yeah, I just had some questions about Alchemist, actually. And like, there are 13 primes. For those of you who don't know, we're 3 in, gusting 4 with Alchemist. Why did you guys choose Alchemist? What was the kind of creative process around that?
So we were looking at the sort of abilities that the primes have. So we've got a healer, we've got a damage dealer, we've got technically a support. So we're covering all the bases really before we start adding on to it. And Alchemist himself is trying to bring something a little bit different. Will he be the best prime that people use at this time? Probably.
Okay.
Probably. But it depends on how people use him. I mean, my personal favourite is Primer at the minute.
Okay.
But that's because I like to go in guns blazing.
I was going to say, he is very much... I think he looks like Mads Mikkelsen. The guy who plays the baddie in Casino Royale, or Galen Erso in Rogue One. If you zoom in on his... And I'll do this later when we put the game up. He is Mads Mikkelsen. I think whoever, and big salute to your creative team, mate, because I love what they did on Tyrannotron and imminently Wingblades.
My idea.
Oh man, Tyrannotron, I love it. I love wherever that came out of, buddy. Love it. What an obscure little dinosaur. For those of you who don't know, Tyrannotron, I know we're digressing massively from Alchemist, but he was basically the combat for a non-transforming Transformers toy from the 90s, an Action Master Snarl. And at TFN, that is the one thing I'm looking for, is a boxed Action Master Snarl with a Tyrannotron, just because I love Tyrannotron so much. But anyway, sorry, I've completely hijacked you talking about Alchemist.
No. Excuse me. God. No, it's fine. So the way that we're doing things is we want to have a look at the abilities and what they can bring, right? So we can work on that from the foundation up. And then once we've covered all the abilities, we can then start either adding to them or change them slightly. So the primes themselves, I'm going to digress from Alchemist because I do love him as a character. And I always attribute his bar to like the old Wild Wild West bar where they have the, you leave your guns at the door.
Yeah.
It's always been a fantastic thing for me.
Yeah.
But looking at primes themselves, it's no lie to say that when we released it, it was incredibly underwhelming. What we wanted back then is something completely different to what it is now. So I'm going to take the conversation in a little bit of a different direction, but it's pointed towards what primes will be and what the vision is for that. And then it will make sense why we're doing the way we're doing for the ideation side for things here. So
a bit of secret sauce, everybody, I suspect.
A bit of secret sauce. So with primes themselves, they were supposed to be not really too much of a game changer, but they were supposed to add to your squad. So there'll be an extra slot on your thing, so you can choose a different prime for each pathway that you go into. Now, when it was released initially, it was incredibly underwhelming. We're aware of that. It's not the capability that we were looking for.
Don't worry, that could have been a line from my first report when I first joined the military about 26 years ago. But look at me now. Anyway.
It happens, but we can learn from that. So we got together and we thought of a different way to... Because we didn't just want to buff them and just make them a stupid thing where everybody chases either one and then they don't touch the others. So we came up with this idea of the total prime power. Right. Now, what this will do, I'm hoping everybody's read the newsletter because I put a lot of information in there this week. that's pointing to why we're doing that. But there's perks, and there's like a skill tree, if you will. It's quite a long one, and it can be quite frustrating at the start because we're going to sort of backdate everything, so you will have your points available to you once this is implemented. So you have 4 primes worth of points, essentially. And you unlock perks as you go along, which is then starts giving you a bit more of a global prime percentage.
Yeah.
Which all primes are affected by. So instead of you investing in one character, and for a lot of the time, people invest quite a lot. You know, the shards, the spark that you need to use, there's either time or if you're a spender, it's the money. But with this, you're going to have different primes that you can use, and you can switch them out interchangeably. So instead of focusing on one, at the end, when we get there, you will have 13, and they will all progress kind of similarly or asymmetrically, if you will.
Yeah.
Where you can use them at a later date. You can focus on one, and we're all aware of the XP gap. Once it gets to 60, it gets incrementally and incredibly higher. But what we're introducing is more XP, so you can actually level a bit faster, and there's more bonuses around damage, health, defense, everything. I'm hoping that people read the newsletter, to be honest, because I prefer to have the information out early so you can do your own research. But a lot of people that I've noticed I see you've got an error on your thing.
Don't worry. I'm just trying to show total prime power while we're talking, but it's just not going to do that.
It's fine.
I will fix it for another time.
Yeah, the idea is bring total prime power into fruition, make it so that things actually make sense, and it's not just focused on a singular prime. It's focusing on all of them and how they interact with the game and what you can do with them. Because focusing on one thing's great, but then you don't have that change of things, and you might want to use primer and go all in on attack.
Yeah.
But then you might have a squad that needs a bit of support rather than being the brute force.
Yeah.
And obviously the first time we introduced it, they didn't have abilities. Now they have abilities, so you can use them. The first introduction, the ability points were then quite high.
Yeah.
But that's where the playtest comes in and the feedback, because it makes it so much easier once you're in the understanding of saying that this is too high, let's lower it just a little bit, and then it makes sense as it goes forward. But the whole total prime power, when that comes into fruition, is that your ability points are also affected by these perks.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier as time goes along. It's incredibly granular, and the majority of people will level up at the same time. Obviously, for people that do buy stuff, then they will be a little bit ahead. But we've got caps on things so people don't steamroll, and we want everyone to feel that they are still important. And that's pretty much why and where we're at with total prime power.
Yeah.
I'm just logging into backend
So,
to see if
the chat is exploding because they saw my little girl's Gacha Life screen on the iPad. She loves building up Gacha Life characters. Maybe we could set up a whole separate thing about Gacha Life. I mean, just listening to you talk there, I think there are some important things to pull out for the community. The first is a mobile game is not like getting a PS5 game. There is a very different dev pipeline. There's a very different investment and resourcing pipeline. It's a one and done, and you expect it to do the thing it does with a bit of patching throughout. With this, I think the message I would take from you this morning is you and the team do not view content as a one and done. You view it as not just something that is evolving, but something that you are willing to let fail so that it can be stronger through that failure. And that resonates with me because certainly one of the things I've always said to my teams, and I have commanded real people in real situations, is let's fail fast before the world imposes that failure on us. And I think the community needs to be mindful of that and I think we are broadly quite tolerant to it, because certainly when I first started playing, Megatronus came out not too long after that, and I was a bit like, I just started collecting these guys who are the sort of Hasbro Age of the Primes actual primes. Nexus has just come out. He's very cool, and he's going to be a prime combiner. That's going to be fascinating. But like as you said at the start, I was just kind of delighted that there was something in my team that would help me not die quite so fast. Because I don't know about you guys in the chat who are at entry level. At the start, I was like, gosh, I'm dying really fast. all the time. And I was like quite demoralized. So getting Megatronus was a bit like, right, you are now my bullet magnet. Just stay there until I can, use Rodimus Prime to vaporize somebody. But now, whilst I wouldn't say at the moment, pre-total prime power, it's perhaps as important to me as, say, a fully maxed out Titan, which has gone through all of those marginal gains and increments of the Titan tech tree. For me, total prime power, firstly, it delights my ADHD goblin brain because it is like the yellow brick road, this sort of golden breadcrumb of Cybertronian goodness. And every one of those breadcrumbs you sort of go around and schnaffle, it's that marginal gain that is imposed on your primes, all of your primes, and potentially your war teams. So in a similar but not the same way to Titan Tech Tree, like when we get new players coming into Prime Delta or Prime Union, Prime Slag, and one of my first questions to the ones who are like frustrated or not performing to the level that they want to is, what level is your Titan? And where are you on the Titan tech tree? Because for me, that was like a light switch moment where when I first came into Delta, I was like losing every single war, like red, demoralized, pressure, feeling pretty sort of beat up. And one of the guys was like, I just had a look at your Titan. You need to just up the tech tree massively. And it's even for those who aren't able to coin regularly, and this is not me trying to, force a timeshare on you. For a relatively modest investment through the store, you can up your Titan really, really fast, and you will see a sort of sea change in your war team because your Titan gives it just a range of marginal gains that you just couldn't otherwise access. So my top tip for the day, if your Titan is not at a decent level on the tech tree, get it up there fast.
Yeah, it's a very good tip, to be honest.
And I think it's going to be similar with Total Prime Power. The joy of Total Prime Power is, and I know bundles are available for Alchemist already, but certainly I don't think I've bought any Prime bundles at all. I've just competed in the various events that have come through. And all of my current primes are now level 10. Pretty much all of their weapons are, just at the cusp of the top level, where you're having to invest that kind of 30,000 artifact shards. I think I've got like 25,000 artifact shards for Meg. I'm on like 1 for Primer and I think 5 for Solus. But what I'm telling you all here in the chatverse and the sort of wider community is, primes are a bit of a gift. You don't have to spend lots of money. Some people will be like, oh, they're a distraction. They're vampiring your XP if you use them. Yeah, if you use them when you're power leveling in events. But then you might want to power level your prime. And that's a whole different strategy. Yes, they will take away some of your XP if you use them. But you might want them to have that. Because my Megatronus now is like, he'll absorb all the radiation of a major nuclear attack, and pretty much not die until the final seconds of the whole battle. So I'm really for it, and I'm excited to see the rest of the primes.
We are. It's been a bit crazy, obviously, because we did have to pivot. Primes weren't a thing until very recently, obviously, but we had to pivot and make a full feature very quickly, and it's not something the team has done at that speed before, so it was very hit and miss when we were supposed to be doing it, of course. But I just wanted to. I'm going to have some fun now because I've just had a look at what's on the web store and I see that the total Alchemist pack is on there.
Oh yeah.
If you wanted to do a giveaway, however you want to do it is up to you.
You're putting me under pressure.
I'm happy for you to give away 5 total Alchemist packs.
Okay.
For anybody that can use the web store, I will give them a code and it will give it to them for free.
Okay. So what I'm going to do with that is everybody who's been in the chat throughout the live stream, noting that we've got a bit of road to run on that, I will take out all of your names and put them into a randomizer, and at random we'll then get in touch with the 5 of you who it comes out with, and you will get your free 100% free Alchemist Prime packs. What a gift. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, why not? I like to break the rules a little bit.
yeah, definitely free stuff.
I shouldn't, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm the boss, right? So,
but, you know,
yeah, the primes themselves, they did just need some time.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say that, you know, we've got some time now. We've had some time. Total prime power, once it comes through, should be what the game-changing feeling should have been from the start.
Yeah.
And it's now a full feature.
Yeah.
When we brought it out, it was broken, and it was not a feature at that point. It was just something that we put out, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
We're okay saying that because we want to learn from our mistakes. But right now, once it gets released, it will be ready, and it's going to be pushed, and everybody will have access at the same time. So I will premise that with, once we put the content push out next week, it will be there, but it won't be unlocked because we want everybody to have access at the same time.
Yeah.
And the way that the updates work on Apple and Google was we need to get the okay from Apple. Google's quite easy, or Android, shall we say, is relatively easy to get the okay, but Apple has to go through everything. So once we do the push, there then comes a times when we're ready for the force push. And once we can do that and make everybody update at the same time, shortly after that, we will then unlock Total Prime Power. Just to put that out there, I tried to cover it a little bit on the newsletter, but I don't think I did it very well. So I'll put a ping out anyway next week. But once it's there and ready, everyone will have access at the same time to make it fair and not everybody's forcing ahead.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Cool. Well, the chat is lighting up. We will make sure that everybody who's in the chat gets put into the draw. And then me and Kallum will let you know who's been successful. And you can enjoy muscling up your Alchemist after the event this weekend.
Hell yeah.
I think what I'll do is, while we're chatting, I'm going to fire up the playtest account. And I might just sort of play in the background and show everybody a bit of Mirage, bit of Dust Up. Bit of Alt Max, and maybe a bit of...
I had a look at the code. I think I might have fixed it.
Oh, okay. Well done.
I say think because it's a prime issue. But...
Yeah, you never know, eh? You never know. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. Right. Let me try and get this back on. We'll transition it over. Hopefully everybody can see that. Let's see if it works now. Yeah, it does. So, Alchemist up here. This is Total Prime Power, everybody. Isn't it beautiful? So I've already opened all these little goodies, but
I'm laughing because the whole, there was a genuine argument about what the icon should be.
Yeah.
And what we should be doing in the background to sort of make you aware that you can, level up. And the amount of times I've read that argument and just laughed that, this is something we shouldn't argue about, but we do. So, just a bit of premise on this as well. It looks incredibly overwhelming when you first look at it, and especially someone who's got ADHD, they look at that and panic.
I don't know. I looked at it and I was like, oh, free stuff, and it's like a treasure trail.
Yeah, I think when we first revealed it, everyone was like, why isn't there a claim all button? And the simple answer is once you've pressed it, it's locked in. So once you've pressed that unlock, that is it then. And once you get to the end, you will only be doing this at the start, where you'll have more points to spend and you can start cycling through the rewards or the perks. But once you start getting closer to the end and leveling up the primes, it becomes slower, obviously. So you won't have to keep pressing it as you go along. So it's just an annoyance at the start.
Yeah. So I know there's two schools of thought, isn't there? Some people love kind of going through and like opening stuff. Like to me, each one of these, like when you start this, everybody out there in the chat, all of the metrics that you can see on the left here are at 0. And as you go through, sort of tabbing off all of these things, the numbers are going to increase. And this is what I mean by marginal gains. So if you've invested time in your primes from day one with Megatronus, through Solus, through into Primer, and now into Alchemist, it's going to be like a little Transformers Earth Wars Christmas present for you that you didn't know you were going to get. And my brain loves that shit. So, you know, I just delighted in going through this, watching all the little numbers get bigger. I'm just like, it's like I like to bodybuild in the gym. It's like hypertrophy for me. I'm doing the reps super slow, getting that muscle fiber sort of snapping. Love it. So for me, this was a delight. So here, look, we can unlock some stuff for you live. Hello, darling. You going swimming?
Yes.
Have fun. My daughter's going swimming. And you've got a very fancy new suit on. Love the shorts. Have fun. See you later. So total Prime Power Perk unlocked. Prime Legacy. What does that mean? What's that? So release a pulse that grants 50% attack and move speed to allies in a large area of 15 seconds when your Prime is defeated. So it's a big sort of area of debate at the moment, isn't it, in playtest about sort of post-death abilities, post-death advantages, all of this sort of stuff.
We want to explore things. We want to explore things and see how they work. Will it work? It should, but that's where the feedback comes in, right?
Yeah.
I do have to dash in 9 minutes.
Oh,
I have a team meeting. I apologise. I don't know how you want to do the rest of it. If you want to have a quick fire up of questions.
Yeah. So if you've only got 9 minutes left, guys in the chat, if you want to fire any questions in to Kallum now, I'll do an admin break because I've been at this now for a few hours, and I'm 44, and there are real biological things that need to happen. Yeah. So I will have an admin break for 10 minutes. Then I'm going to be back in live streaming for the rest of the day. So you can come back in. We can talk War Squads. We can play the Alchemist event live on my live account. You can chat to me about how I set stuff up. We can deep dive into Optimus Maximus, the new combiner, which is still in playtest, but he's a bit of an outpost bot killer. Still in debate. Mirage. If I were a betting man, which I'm not, I would tell you to start ranking Mirage up. Because he's looking pretty strong. And I'll show you that in a second. And Dust Up is just super cool. Dust Up Vortex. Really lots of love and effort has gone into the reworks for their abilities and them generally. And it's not quite Rust Dust, but it's going to be super fun to level and great for events. So it's definitely one that you're going to want to try and get your hands on. Get your sticky little mitts on those. So we'll play with those as well. But yeah, fire in some questions for me and Kallum. Somebody just asked who your favourite 3 primes are.
Block Boy has just come in with a 5-star batch which
right.
makes me laugh because it's going to be quick, sooner than you think, but not too soon.
Okay.
It's sort of soon TM at this point. I know what's going to be in there, but there's just a few things that have to happen first.
Yeah.
But it is soon.
Okay. So I'm just showing everybody, this is a maxed out Mirage in playtest. General rank, maxed out power core. Got glitch on him at the moment. I'm getting notes. Apparently I can't shut the spare room because our new cat is in there. That's good to know. Good to know.
Do you know what the snorkel is?
The snorkel is in the garden shed. These are important questions. So yeah, Mirage is going to be very, very handy We'll demo him in a minute. And here's Dust Up, big old cluster strike, lots and lots of DPS. Teamed her up at the moment with Alchemist Core and SB Optimus Prime, who is the John Wick of combats. And you can see her DPS is quite nice. She's general rank as well, but we'll play with these in a minute. The range has been increased a wee bit, Wheelbite 9, and the precision of the weapon as well. My wife is about to tell me off because she can both not get the shed door open, and she's going to shout at me because it's a mess. So
Nice.
yeah, no, she's muscling through.
She goes to the gym every Monday and Friday. She'll do it right.
She'll be fine now. Will Mirage and Breakdown Vortex Dust Up appear in an event? Question mark.
Yes. So the way that we do legacies usually, more specifically in this case, it's likely. Sorry, I've got a back scratch and I'm scratching my face with it.
Go for it.
Likely that we will do the web store exclusive, and when we say exclusive, we mean just for a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
That short period of time is usually around 6 months. But at that point, then we do a legacy event. I think the last one we did, we put 2 5-star bots in, and let people go nuts. They can either go for one or go for both.
Yeah.
But what we usually do is we put them in there first, so people want them now, they can have them now.
Yeah.
But then a bit later on, we'll do a legacy event with a few fun things in between.
I see.
So they will and should appear in an event. And now I've said it, I will make sure that happens because I don't want to lie to you.
So I'm just showing everybody Mirage at the moment. This is sort of a prime zone base in playtest. And as you can see, he's nice and cheap. And he is just mincing this base up.
Yeah. Whilst you're doing that, there's 2 questions that I've seen. One was from PGC, is it PGC Echo maybe? He said he's younger and he came in with Transformers Prime.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
That we may get the skin variants from the show. Yes, we do have a catalogue of skins. I'd have to check if that was one of them that's on there. But the way that it works usually is that we would pick a skin or a bot, make sure it's okay with Hasbro, get the license for that, then we can start working on that. So it's a possibility. Can I guarantee it? No.
Yeah. So is that kind of the process, is it? We have to get Hasbro approval.
Every year or 6 months, depends on what Hasbro's got going on. We've spoken to them a lot this year because of the rerun of the first film.
Can't wait for that, by the way. Coming to cinemas in September.
I know, I'm excited. We've made things planned around that.
Woo!
I'm not going to say too much, but we would have a meeting with Hasbro each year. They've got a line of what's coming out, either by the toy line or some secrets. Then we can push things to get things sorted. They then send us the go-ahead, and then we go from there realistically. I've seen a question from the big OP8, which is that they're looking at the primes after the original 13. At this point, no. But depending on how we round this up, it could be something we can add on to, because the way Total Prime Power works is at the minute it's fully fleshed, but we can add on to that, I believe. I'm saying that without asking the designers, so I could get a slit throat when we get back into the meetings. But the way that it
Don't
works
worry,
to
just
me
say I
is
said it.
we can add on to that and maybe add additional primes if it's something that we can have. So it's good.
Yeah.
But skins themselves, they're not too easy to obtain, but they are easier to obtain than a full bot license.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
Okay. So I know, like, in playtest, there are a lot of people in playtest who get really into the maths of, every little bit of it, and I applaud them and salute their sort of ability to do that. Have a great day. I'm not a loser. My wife just abuses me constantly. They're the only two people in the world who pretty much can do this, and everyone in the chat. So just for everybody's awareness, that was basically Mirage and Dust Up doing a bit of a tag team action on a Prime Zone playtest base without a Biner live. But as you can see, they just minced it up. One of the things I was talking about in playtest was like, could we get Mirage's G2 watermelon coloured skin and things like that? But I think everybody has to
like
realise that in
to
tech,
have fun with it. I mean,
in tech
the
world, it's
Christmas
not a
skins,
magic wand, is it?
It's not. It's not. We can have some fun sometimes, like the Christmas skins, for example, when we made.
Yeah, I love
I
those.
can't remember who it was. A gingerbread. That was so much fun to create. So we do have some leeway, but it is quite. It's not as lenient as people may think.
Yeah.
Which is why when people suggest skins all the time on Discord, it's like, guys, the idea is great, and I love it, and I want it, but there is licenses in place for a reason, and we can't just.
I get the feeling that convincing you is not the problem.
Convincing me is not the problem. I'm all for it. If you want a skin, I smash it straight through, but it's not something that I can do, unfortunately.
Yeah. So there have been some questions in the chat about, is there any sort of teasers you can tell us about which primes might be coming up next? Or...
I know which primes are coming and what order they're coming in.
But you're not going to tell us, are you?
But I'm not going to tell you, I'm afraid. Playtesters will obviously get the information first. They will always leak it. There's nothing I can do to stop it. I've given up trying to stop leaks in playtest.
I wouldn't do such a thing.
It's just the way it is. Can I leak it? Should I leak it? No, I shouldn't.
Or maybe you should give us a hint. What colour is it?
No, I can't do that. Cannot do that, I'm afraid. But yeah, we've got a plan for all of them. I know which ones are coming. We might slow down with them a little bit so we can get more bots out, maybe. I don't know. There's so much talk going on. Yeah. We want everyone to be happy and play the game that they love.
Okay, so
whether it's going to be...
Two quick fire questions from you. Bayushi Gemma says... you should let us use primes in Z-Energon runs instead of just once. I think the reason that happens is because you can only use one bot once in Zen farming. Is that correct?
That's right. So with elimination mode, it was designed for one bot only at the time. Once it's dead, it's dead. Or well, once you've used it, you've used it. And primes, when they first came in, they could be used again and again. It wasn't the design for them, I'm afraid. So it's just, yeah.
Yeah. So Damon Huber wants to know, is there going to be a skin for battle damage Brawn? Presumably the 86 Megatron shot to the shoulder variant.
That's a good idea.
Isn't it? You could have a Ratchet one as well, and a Prowl one with just flames coming out his eyes. Just for the added...
Promise, but
and people are reminding you that, A, this is more fun, but maybe you need to go to your meeting.
My meeting started and 10 people have just messaged me. Yeah, so I'm going to dash. It's been lovely.
Mate, this has been a delight. Thank you so much.
I appreciate your time. I want to try and hit up more content creators in the future and spread my time out so I'm everywhere, as always. Mate,
I'm very grateful to have been asked to be part of that little team. And yeah, loved having you here. Let's do this again sometime, as they say. Now,
absolutely.
Go away and leave me alone.
Right. Take care, guys. Thank you.
See you, buddy. Right. Guys, it is just me now. So we're going to have a little admin break because I've been at this now for about 3 hours. And, the body needs what the body needs, I'm afraid. So we're going to have 10, 15 minutes just down. You can enjoy a sort of transitional screen showing you some promotional content. And if you want to keep hitting me up in the chat, that is good. But I will be back in about 15 minutes, and then let's just play some event, shall we? And see how things go. But this has been lovely. Thank you so much for engaging in the chat. Hopefully that's been really exciting news about what's coming, what happens behind the scenes, the sort of chaos of the ops room when things go wrong, and just some getting to know me and Callum. So yeah, big salute everyone. And go away and leave me alone for 5 minutes, would you? Hello everyone, welcome back. I see the chat is still absolutely kicking, which is good. I will do my best to be clever and find a way of putting all of your names into some sort of digital sort of hat and smooshing them around a bit and finding out who wins the 5 things. I've not actually looked at the Alchemist bundles to see what you'll get, but I would imagine that it's going to be rather good, and you're going to be able to sort of muscle up your Prime a bit. I'm just going to make sure that the music from this isn't on and deafening you all. No, it's not. This is good. Right. So that was really fun, wasn't it? I really enjoyed talking to Kallum. What a lovely bloke. He's genuinely knackered at the moment. Absolutely tired out. He put in quite a lot of hard hours. He was up until about 4 a.m. when the game went down the other day. So hey Sol, thanks mate. You inspired me the other day with your AI animations. So I was fannying around with it late last night. That second one that you've just seen could be better. I'm gonna try and do better. Basically, my avatar has been turned into Optimus Prime with a cape on. So, Prime Nemesis, my alliance, has been beavering away on the event. Let's see how we're doing. We're at 82,000 at the moment. I have done Sweet Cockle at the moment, so I need to start pulling my weight. So, thanks for joining the Discord, mate. PG Chicho 8818. Thanks, mate. I will try and help you out as much as I can. Also, got a little giveaway, but this is a physical giveaway. It's not a digital giveaway. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but if you look at the sort of left-hand side of your screen, here we have a Funko Pop Skywarp. And I mistakenly ordered 4 of these little guys, and I only needed 1. And then I went away and I forgot to send them back. Now it's too late for me to send them back. So I'm going to give away a few of these. Sort of same rules apply. Yeah, he's cool, isn't he? A little I don't know if... So Funko Pops were the toys that got me back into collecting these little guys. So these are the Age of the Primes. So here's Primer. Here's Solus. We've got Alchemist as well over here. Alchemist just finished eating his quinoa sandwich and drinking some craft beer because he's obviously the most hipster of the Primes possible. But yeah, I bought a few Funko Pops to try and sort of help my Transformers addiction. And then I was like, I'll just have a look at the Hasbro website. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll just buy Wheelie. Or maybe I'll just buy that Missing Link Ultra Magnus. And then I was like, maybe I'll just buy all of them. So my office now looks just like a Transformers museum. Because I'm a grown-up now and I've got grown-up money. So to those of you who are still at school, which I suspect is few of you, work really hard so you can buy more Transformers. So what I took from the meeting with Kallum as well was, I'm very G1 focused. I know that. I love Transformers 1. Very sad that they're not going to do more of it. I'm so sorry, there's somebody at my front door. Just bear with me 1 second. I will be right back. Sorry about that. Back in the mix. Real life, everything. What I took from that is there's lots of content from all the different kind of multiverses and canons that is coming down the line for us. So we talked something about, like Prime and Cyberverse skins and sort of animated. There's already some Armada skins. There's Power Links. There's War for Cybertron. We're getting quite well served, I think, with sort of multi-generational content. But I would be lying if I didn't say that I'm really excited about the sort of 86 Apology Tour, which is what Hasbro call it, for traumatizing all of us as kids with the death of all of our favourite Transformers. I, for one, am very excited about it coming back to cinemas in September. Get your tickets. I never got to see it in the cinema when I was little, so I'm going to go and see it like 100 times when it does come out. Alpha Trion. What are you saying? Cool. Funko Pop needs to make a thrust with a smashed face. Yes. Just the reflection of him on the grill of Optimus Prime. Just bash. Yeah, I'll give you that. So, Shapeshifter, animated Megatron has a special part in your heart. I want to know why, mate. Tell me why. Like, for me, it's Ultra Magnus. So when I was a kid, certainly where I came from, I was not this. I was not a heavily tattooed ex-soldier. I was a very frightened little boy in a fairly rough place. And I saw Ultra Magnus and Rodimus Prime and Optimus and, all these sort of huge characters. And I looked at them with a sense of aspiration. I was like, I didn't believe I could ever be that thing. We're getting deep here, but I sort of made myself that, sort of grew into that thing that I needed the most. And it wasn't until a few years ago that I realised that my alliance is just like, work harder, we're working hard. I didn't realise until it was a few years ago that the kind of core values and the messages and just the inspiration and the aspiration that Transformers gives to us, regardless of where you come into it, be it G1, G2, Bayverse, Prime, animated, wherever, games, it sort of unites us in wanting to be better humans, taught to us by these weird Cybertronian aliens that turn into stuff. And it doesn't matter that none of the early episodes made any sense, or were badly animated in places, or that none of the Autobots or Decepticons killed each other until the film, and then they all did. I just love it. It sort of anchors me and grounds me. Anyway, sorry to say, but Transformers 1 was a terrible movie. Oh man, dread. I wish I could agree with you, but I can't. I love it. I really like it. My favourite sequence in Transformers 1 is when they find Alchemist in the kind of cave where all the Quintessons come in. And that was... So, I get it. People are fierce about their fandoms. I get it. But for me, I'm like a Labrador. I'm like a hungry Labrador. I want to be friends and I want to eat. That's me. I am just delighted when new content for my fandoms come out. So live action Moana film. I love Disney. Went to see it and I was just in tears all the way through it because, I'm a girl dad. I have trauma and I cry at films. And I was just like, this is amazing. Why are people panning it? It's awesome. It's really good. Transformers 1, I went to see it and my tail's just wagging like a happy dog. I'm just like happy to be there. Just happy to be there. I find the Bayverse films a little bit difficult to watch in places. But, I can cling on. I can cling on. Shapeshifter. He's the most charismatic Megatron. If he tells me something, I'll probably do it. He's an amazing manipulator. Okay, we're getting into a lot of psychology here. I feel like boys, girls, and everybody else. 170 million in the box office lost. Oh man, yeah. I'm with you, Soul. I love Transformers 1. I think there was a bit of a marketing failure with it, but it's a bit like Transformers the movie '86, I guess. When that came out, it completely died at the box office and pretty much sealed the fate of season 3 and all the rest of it. And it wasn't until Beast Wars and the Bayverse that the brand sort of became alive. But now all of those 4-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 10-year-olds are now my age, and we got real grown-up money. Like, you go and listen to Triple Takeover. It's a little podcast, not a little podcast, an amazing podcast, run by these guys who all they do is talk about Transformers toys from like 70s Diaclone through every era, and they get them and they play with them and they talk about them and they have people on the show. It's so fun, so cool. It's like, if any of you guys know Top Gear, it's like Top Gear for Transformers collectors. And I listen to them and I chat to people in their Discord, and they're all my age. They're all like in their 40s with kids or, lives. And we're all just reconnecting with our childhood through these colourful little robots. I just love it. I just love it. Logic behind 86 was that Decepticons were fully fueled. Yeah, I'm always like, on the Autobot City attack, when Cup is like, I might even have some sound effects for it. So, this bit. Yeah? When Devastator turns up and he's like, yeah, and they're all flying through the air, and then Optimus is like, Dinobots, destroy Devastator. And I'm like, yes, at last, we're going to kick the ass of the Decepticons. And then you get that glorious scene of all the Dinobots, like, pathfinding it through the sky with, like, high altitude, low opening parachute. Out they go. And then Devastator minces them. It's like Grimlock literally gets, kung fu kicked in the chest, which means Devastator knows ultimate fighting. And, or, Jeet Kune Do or something. Help me out. And then you've got, like, Sludge literally gets his eyeballs bounced out of his head. Swoop, I'm like, surely Swoop will do some damage. And boom. It's like, no, he's killed by falling debris. The only one that has any effect whatsoever is Slag, otherwise known as Slug. Changed the name because Slag means something very different in the UK to our international guests. And so Hasbro had to change it, quite rightly. I'm a girl dad, do not come at me, misogynists. So Swoop gets taken out, and Slag is the only one who, he puts Devastator on his arse. Devastator then on the floor, and then it's like, Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost. And then boom, we're into knocking over Coneheads. It's only Blitzwing who jumps out the way. Anyway, I could talk about this all day, but, shall we play?
We all must die sometime.
Shall we play? Where are we? Prime Nemesis, number 6. GC1, always high on the scores. Scorched Omega doing well. Prime doing very well. The Darkness. Great score for the new He-Man film, by the way, by The Darkness. The band, not the Alliance. Horde doing well. Right, I'd better add some things to it, because as you can see, I have not scored anything. And I need to motor. I need to do something. I've not even picked who I'm power leveling at the moment. So this is my standing war team. But yeah, let's see who I need to level, shall we? So this is my gang. This is my actual test. Not my test. My actual account. So you can see I've got some decent stuff. So Chicho, tell me if I'm saying your name wrong, buddy. I'm so sorry. Got enough shards for a 5-star bot. Should I go for Mirage, like you mentioned earlier? I would say yes, but he's not out yet, my old seahorse. Who should you go for? You're playing Autobots, and how many other 5-stars have you got? Tell me what you got, and I'll tell you who I think you should go for. If you haven't got Gears, go for Gears, because if you come up against a front-loaded base, Gears will turn it into metal coleslaw at high level with an Alchemist Prime core on him. If you can get that set up on Gears, then you're in the money. He is a demon. He is a killer. He is a red rectangle of death. So got no friends who like it. Yeah. A lot of the dads that I know are all Transformers fans or He-Man fans. Yeah, funky giant robots. That's it. So go for Gears. Can we get Daniel Witwicky as a headmaster partner for RC? Wow, that is old lore, isn't it? Old lore. This will really bake your noodle, though. How about we get Minerva as the headmaster for Minerva? So the human who piloted, or rather partnered with Minerva, who was also called Minerva, weirdly. Anyway, but yeah, I'd love to see some more headmasters out there. One of the few actual Transformers toys I got was Brainstorm, who was a headmaster. But to you, PG Chicho, what I would say, definitely Gears, definitely a tank like Grimlock. If you've not got a tank like Grimlock, you need a tank like Grimlock. If you can't get Grimlock, Pipes is very, very good. Who else? Ironhide is pretty good as a tank. So these are all pretty much the sort of same character. Bake your noodle, quote from The Matrix. It's what the old lady, the Oracle, says to Neo. Okay, what have you got? You got Sandstorm, not one I use. Swoop, he is an original, an OG OP metabot. Often in Outposts, his opposite number is, I've gone completely blank. Scourge. His opposite is Scourge. And he basically zooms around for 20 whole seconds, lasering people in the face. He's a right pain in the ass. Blue Streak, awesome. Get him leveled up, mate. He is your kind of one-shot dude. And he is the initiator for whatever air class that you use, be that Air Raid, Brainstorm, to explode the bomb that they drop. Beast Wars Ironhide, not bad, but he's really squishy. I maxed him out quite early because I was really excited about him. And now I use him on front-loaded rushes because of his glass gas ability, but he just doesn't have the survivability that Grimlock does, or Pipes does, or Ironhide would. Who else? You could also go for like Armada Scavenger would be another choice. This dude here, who is not on my roster really, because I wasn't really in the Armada era personally, and I always default to nostalgia, like we all do. Default to what makes us feel joy and happy, I guess. But you know, I enjoy leveling the bots. But you can see mine is he's still at like level 1 everything. I should really level him up. But he's a Russian tank. So yeah, I would, if you could get hold of Grimlock, that would be good. Who else have you got? Beast Wars Ironhide. Yeah. My instinct for that is he's fun. He's very satisfying to use, but he'll die real fast, even with Jays or Children. Impactor, I don't use so much. Windblade is fun, but you've got to know how to use her. Skyburst, getting better. I brought her up because me and my daughter play the girl bots quite a lot. Wing Saber, I've only recently got myself, so I'm building him up at the moment. And Hotspot. Hotspot could be a good Russian tank, actually. Anybody in the chat use Hotspot a lot? Let me see if I can find him. Here's mine. So Hotspot could be good. So Reflection Shield, so he's a bit trailbreakery. So he's pretty much the same bot as Pipes, Ironhide, Grimlock. He'll probably have comparable health. Yeah, use Blue Streak, wipe out beam cannons, missile launchers, then send in Volcanicus and mop it with Blur and Cup. Yeah, that's a good strategy. It's a good strategy.
So Hotspot could be your tank, PG Chicho. I would invest some love in him, unless you can pull Grimlock. If you can pull Grimlock, my Grimlock mate, unkillable. Unkillable. So he's a level 70 general. I put Liege on him, but you could put Onyx on him. If you put Onyx on him, put Forge of Solus Prime on him, so he's not hackable. And you get the play again, sort of come back to life situation. And if you can, get his G2 skin, because it makes it look like he's wearing pink pants, which is always funny. Right, I'm going to do some leveling of Sea Spray maybe. We'll do some Blur, because I like Blur, because he's just super fun to use. I've not even looked at this event properly yet. Is it Mayhem? I assume it is. Who else needs a bit of leveling love? Brainstorm needs some leveling love. This is what I like to do at the start of an event, is like pick out the guys that I'm gonna try and level a bit. Ratchet always needs some XP. My Rook needs some XP. Who else? I've been doing quite a lot with Powerglide recently. He's quite fun to use. Trax. Just starting to use Trax a little bit more. Trax is awesome. He's got such a good ability at level 11. 70% damage reduction shield and 15% attack and move speed for 21 seconds. Killer. Yeah, pink boxer shorts in G2 bot mode. It's mayhem. Thanks, buddy. I should know this, shouldn't I? I'm like the worst. I'm the worst content creator. People are like, what's your expert advice on this? I'm like, I have no idea. Just blunder into it. Hope for the best. Cosmos. He needs some love. So Cosmos is one of my outpost bots, obviously. Very nearly got him into the 70s last time. And I'm going to give him general rank this time. So, let's have a game, shall we? Let's have a game. Solus needs a bit of love. And my go-to combiner for events is Volcanicus. Because I usually play events, as you can see in a minute, at around zone 15. Because then I get a guaranteed bang for my buck. Shapeshifter, you should definitely join Alliance, buddy. 100%. 100%. Come along to Prime. Come and chat to me or Warrior or any of the team there. If you look in the YouTube sort of info, there's all the stuff about joining Prime, what level you should be at. But what we will certainly do, and there are other alliances are available. Armada 1's very good. We will try and put you in the alliance that will help you grow without putting you under too much pressure or make you feel uncomfortable. And then if you want to move up, you can. If you're happy where you are, that's cool. But being an alliance mate will just unlock lots of resources for you. So you'll get quicker research time, you'll get war benefits, by which I mean resources when you win and lose wars. You'll get that camaraderie and advice from people. It opens up a whole different dimension to the game. I've certainly found it very valuable, both to my mental health, my happiness, and my frustration with dying quite so quickly in the game. Clueless Gamer, hey buddy, thanks so much. You too. Hope to see you on the field. Let's just give one of these guys a power call. So for those of you out there who are new, or just coming in and sort of entry level, when you got really low level bots, you don't need to do this, because if you just pulled a 5-star out of the factory and you play with them in an event, it's very likely that their XP is going to get maxed super fast, and then you're going to be able to put them into research and buy them out real quick, real cheap, and get them into the game. But when they get up to sort of level 50, 60, you're going to want to slap one of these bad boys on them. I haven't even got enough energy on. Scheisse. And make it so that you can level them quick, or at least quicker. So there's my inventory. It's got cock all in it. I'm poor as hell. I haven't even bought a bundle yet. I obviously will. HQ14, Alliance low level has been really helpful. Yeah, mate, stick with it. Grow. I love the social aspect of this game. When it's good, it's really good. I'm not German, but one of my best friends is, and I kind of, through osmosis, pick up various swear words and things from him. What was I about to do? I was about to put a core on Cosmos, wasn't I? Stop distracting me. You keep surprising me. Right. Here we go. And also, you lucky people, and I will put this in the chat. I made you all a playlist. Hey, Broccoli. How you doing, mate? Booster bots. Yeah, I like Hoist. Hoist is one of my favourite old characters. He's one of the master engineers of Cybertron, which I just love that idea. I don't have Inferno at 5-star yet, but I've been umming and ahhing about whether or not to pull him, because I've got 10,000 shards in my bank. But he's in a batch with Ariel, and whilst I'd like to get Ariel so me and Phoebe can play with her and level her up a bit, I've been holding back for Mirage and the next sort of legacy batch to drop, but peer pressure from you, mate, now is making me want to pull Inferno, but I will almost certainly then pull Ariel, and then I'll use the other 5,000 to pull whichever one I don't get, and then I'll have no shards left. So yeah. Hey Theron, how are you, buddy? Thanks so much for coming, mate. Yay, nice to see you. From Delta and now Nemesis, you're doing so well, buddy. You're doing so well. Let me see if I've got a little sound effects for you. Yeah, I feel like this is working.
I'm just a soldier. I'm not worthy.
Yeah, man. Warrior, man, I'm definitely not worthy for you, mate. You know, the reason I'm here at all is because of Warrior Prime. What a lovely bloke. What a lovely bloke. I was cast out in no alliance at all, and I just responded to a little advert in the Discord chat that he and Guts had put out there, and he was like, "Show me your bots." So I did, and they were all wacky bots, all in a random group, and yeah, and he was like, very gently, "You might want to just change this one out, and this one, and this one, and all of them." And he was very kind and put me in Delta, who were all lovely, like Big Redder, Laser Charge, Blasty, Darren. I'm sure I'm missing people. Monster in Nemesis. Loads of you. SB, all the crew. Just so lovely with time and patience, and just sort of bigging you up and showing you what to do. Metal Maniac, who taught me how to do the most amazing pathing tactic, which I'll show you all in a bit. And it's just fun being around them all. I really like them. No idea who anybody is in real life. You could all be, dead-eyed murderers sat in a prison somewhere. I don't care. It's fine. You're a good team. So, right, let's play some game. Because I've earned no points, and I've been talking so much we've lost 10 minutes on Volcanicus. Right, we are going to do some power leveling on Cosmos, because he's going to kick all your asses in my outpost. Now, I'm going to show you what I mean about guaranteed return for your buck. So here we are. I'm going to pick Zone 16, because that looks really compelling, doesn't it? Plus 4,150, and you get plus 644 points. But what I'm trying to do with power leveling is I'm focusing in on one bot and one combiner, so that all of the good things from me destroying this base comes to that one bot. And this game is now going to make a fool of me, because Volcanicus is probably going to eat this base up. What's Broccoli saying? Use both Hoist and Inferno in raids. Turn the entire squad crazy. Yeah, mate, I believe you. So, first thing, hit up Volcanicus' 5-star ability, sometimes. Or you can go straight in for extinction, making sure there are no fire cores anywhere first. Then I barbecue them with that sort of turn and burn, and then I jump him in. And for Mayhem, Volcanicus is pretty good, and his 5-star ability will give him just that tiny bit more longevity. And the idea is you're trying to defang the base before it's left to your one little bot to deal with it. So like now, Cosmos, heaven help him, has got to do his little UFO thing. Yeah. Here we go. So, as you can see, it's going to take more than Cosmos and Peacekeeper. Peacemaker to do this base, because Megatron is currently firing his cannon into his face, and he's been disabled by a flare mine. So I'm now going to hack Megatron, hopefully. Maybe. Peace through tyranny. Yeah, so Megatron is now doing my bidding. Yeah, you know, my squishy little Autobot UFO. Can you imagine if Cosmos had been in Independence Day? It would be a far less threatening film. He's just kind of wiping Megatron's brain on here. And the idea with Mayhem is you leave nothing on the board. But obviously we're going to leave quite a lot on the board. So, to help along, I'm going to bring Sea Spray out, because my Sea Spray is at quite a low level. So his ability is not very strong. And his level is like, I think he's only just come into 50s. Yeah, Megatron, mate, he's turned. He's turned. He's basically just doing what I tell him to do. And Cosmos is about to get minced by somebody. Who's that? Is that Fellbat? I think it might be. Oh, no. Cosmos is very dead, and I haven't killed anything that I should have done. So this is why, ladies, gentlemen, everybody else, why I don't go into Zone 16 when I'm power leveling. Because I end up using lots of bots that I don't want to use. Like, I'm very happy to use Blur, but I don't really want to right now, because he's now just sucking up all of the XP, and I've not even killed the HQ. So I'm doing really well. Sorry, Nemesis. I'm doing a bad job. I'm probably going to live stream for a little bit longer, and then I might just have to focus in. Yeah, Chromia, I'm a big fan of. So she's in one of my outposts. So I've got 9 seconds left. So I've completely buggered this up. 68%. So it's going to give me a wee bit of XP. Lots of XP for Sea Spray. Not so much for Blur. And not very many points. So that's what I mean about you got to choose your zones carefully. Otherwise, it can be a bit of a waste of time. So let's just buy Cosmos out of jail. We'll put Nor in instead of Sea Spray. And now I'm going to show you what I would normally do. So, Zone 15 is kind of your... if you're playing at a reasonable level, and you are looking to power level level 50, level 60 bots, I would say Zone 15 is your friend. Because, as I'm hopefully about to show you, there's not much in this base that's going to bother Volcanicus. So we've deployed our Cosmos out. Combiner's deployed. We're going to hit it with Extinction straight away. Which means we're potentially going to get 2, maybe even 3 more Extinctions out of the game. We're then going to fire and Brimstone. And one of the reasons I like Volcanicus is you can be pretty indiscriminate in the way that you use him. And in Mayhem, it's kind of fun because you can just try and melt everything as fast as possible. Then jump him in. He's still got that 5-star ability. Your Fire and Brimstone is going to come back to life quicker than your Extinction. And then you're just barbecuing the base. And the idea is that you are leaving as little as possible for Cosmos to worry about. Or whoever it is. Yeah, Ruination. I know people like Ruination quite a lot, but I've never really used him. Never really used him. So mine is at a poor level at the moment. So I'm just going to drop that up there so Cosmos doesn't have to. Oh, good, it did come. So slightly tactical use of Extinction there. I'll let you know, buddy. So for Damon Hubert, I will let you know if you've been pulled in the draw, and then you will be sent a link or a code by Callum and the team in game probably, or in real life. Don't know how it works, and you'll have to claim it through the cyber store. And we'll try and get that out to you this weekend, so that you can use it on your Alchemist. But I've no idea yet how I'm going to randomise you all. If it were up to me, I'd give you all something. But sadly, sadly can't. Honestly, even my max 4-star Volcanicus can still do 90. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, the 5-star ability is purely for a bit of survivability and a bit of speed, and it gives your character that's left on the board a bit more oomph through the empowered Megatronus. But really, it's not going to change the price of fish too much, mate. Oh shit. Firstly, I've accidentally deployed a Sharkticon, and secondly, Extinction didn't kill the thing right at the top of the board. So that's annoying. He's going to pop all of the outposts, but it won't matter, hopefully. Oh man, yeah. First Combiner. What are you going for? There we go. Despite the fact that I cocked that up and deployed Nor, who is now going to get like a bajillion XP. Well done, Nor. Good for you. Bad for me. That is how I would approach this event. Well done, you derpy little shark. Slug. Oh, Slug is another great tank. Slug is another great tank. I don't know who his opposite number is in the Decepticons. But Big OP8 will almost certainly tell me. Crimzeek. Yes. So 3-star Cyclonus. Yeah. So you're going for Galvatronus, huh? Which is Skyrain for us. Is it? Maybe. Don't know anything. Right, back to zone 15 we go. Menasor is the equivalent of Victorion. Victorion, who is an awesome character, sadly not so awesome as a combiner. I would love to do some work on that though, and make Victorion as hard as she is in the lore, because in the lore she is basically the strongest combiner, because the idea from Transformers lore is that the combiners, when they combine, all go a little bit crazy, to a greater or lesser degree. They lose coherence and they lose cognitive ability. But Victorian doesn't, because Victorian only became Victorian through the enigma of combination. And as a result, she is like the most switched on combiner, which I think is really cool. Sadly, in the game, less good. Right, chat, what are you talking about? Detective Defensor? Yeah, I'm doing an expo on Defensor next week, actually. So, got a rather fun kind of Stranger Things inspired bit of promo for that. Because, of course, the flip of Defensor is Abominus. He's like a monster creature. Watch Season 3 of Generation 1. It's free to do so on Hasbro. On Hasbro's old YouTube site. Where is he? Oh, there he is. I'd completely lost Cosmos for a second there. Now I'm going to try and delicately maneuver around all of these outposts, but knowing Cosmos, he will just walk through all of them. Top tip, if you can use a special ability like Cosmos's, which is for a long time, he will auto-float, as you can see, to the next viable target, but he won't initiate the outpost box. while he's in alt mode. So, boom. There we go. And here, we should see. So you might think, wow, that's not much XP. He's at level 69. So that one tiny bit of XP that we've just generated for Cosmos would like fill 10 million level 1 5 stars. But yeah, you get the point. So this is power leveling. Power leveling 101, as you Americans would say. Yeah, you don't have to pirate anything. Don't do that. You'll have like the police coming around asking if you've been pirating Transformers. What a what a rubbish thing to go to prison for that would be. Now I've not checked if there are any fire cores, but usually in Zone 15 there aren't. And the big thing with Zone 15 is you just got to kind of melt it. And you know, Volcanicus is really good fun for doing that. Now I'm just going to hit up his 5-star ability to make him a bit quicker. Yeah, mate, you can watch the whole of G1 on Hasbro's channel. The only thing they've not got is the 1986 movie. And the only reason that's not on there is because it's coming out at cinemas in September. Speaking of Stranger Things... oh, you're a D&D player. You're a D&D player. Cool. My wife always wants to get into it. Her brother is very into it. He's like a very senior doctor, but a total geek. And I've just never really got into it. But I feel like if I did, I really would. Because I'm kind of like a can't start, won't stop kind of guy. You know, if I'm in it, I'm in it. I am 100%. They've made 2 Stranger Things collab Transformers. So the first was a pizza wagon from that kind of stoner Hawaiian dude who was in, I want to say, the penultimate season. Argyle was his name, wasn't it? Argyle. He was very good. And the second one is the K-Squawk radio truck, which is a rework of Ironhide. Yeah, they're both really cool. Yeah, in D&D you call them parties, don't you? The right party. My little girl loves like the Dragon Prince on Netflix. I've been watching Vox Machina on Amazon, which is, if you've got Amazon, I mean, other brands are available. I'm not a massive Amazon fan personally. But if you've got it, Vox Machina on Amazon is very funny, very watchable. And if you like D&D, it's just like a gift, an absolute gift. Oh no, it's Dino King. He's going to zap me. See, what I did there was neutralize Dino King's special ability by initiating my special ability the fraction of a second before he launched at me, which would have disabled me for 20 seconds. And I'm now hacking his ass to do my bidding. However, I've just let loose this dude, who is, I want to say, it's not Octopunch. It's Alita. It's Decepticon Alita. Dino King. I mean Deathsaurus. Thank God you're here, OP, just to prevent me from getting all the Decepticons wrong. Come on, Cosmos. You've got 24 seconds left, you big green goofball. You're not going to do it, though, are you? Ugh. And I don't want to... no rampage as well. Oh well. That's Lugnut. Yes, it's Lugnut. Of course it is. Of course it's Lugnut. Yeah. Okay. So I got a few points there, but didn't quite kill the HQ. Skip again. Not going to use a cooldown skip. Because we've got a few more minutes with Volcanicus. Tantrum, not Rampage, Tantrum. Jeez. So good with the Decepticons. I know, I need to work harder. Buddy. So look, where are we going with this? Oh, so this is going to be nice and easy. So we'll just drop Cosmos up there. We should melt this one nice and easy. Event bases are very varied. Very. Hit fire soon. Yeah, there is. Sorry about that. I'll have to pay the Wi-Fi bill. That might help. And in about 5 minutes, to have another break because I'm hungry and some food. And we'll get back into it. I'll try and speed this up. Sorry, it's going to be a late night. And I'll try and work the lag issue out. How is it affecting you? Are you struggling to hear me? Struggling to see me? What is it? Yeah, Eddie Munsden, poor old Eddie. He did die a horrible death. But the new season is good. If you enjoyed the first few, I'd recommend it. Oh, okay, something's wrong with the audio. Might just have to restart everything. Yes, yeah. I'll go and check it out. Choppy audio. Yeah, obviously. Right. Well, and I'll figure it out.